It all started with a rivalry. Two giants, AT&T's Bell Labs and Motorola, locked in a battle for the future of communication. Bell envisioned a world tethered to the car, bulky radio phones that kept executives connected while driving. But Motorola wanted something more daring, something personal, something you could carry. Twist, twist, twist of fate radio. In the early 1970s, phones weren't mobile at all. If you weren't at home or the office, you were unreachable. Kinda sounds nice. Bell Labs had spent decades dreaming of a wireless future, but their vision wasn't very liberating. Their car phone was massive, power-hungry, and tied to expensive infrastructure. Enter Martin Cooper, an engineer at Motorola. He believed communication shouldn't be chained to vehicles or buildings. It should be free, portable, personal. But for that belief, he faced skepticism, even ridicule. After all, radios were bulky, batteries were weak, circuits overheated, and handheld devices sounded like science fiction. Yet Cooper pushed forward, assembling a team of innovators. They worked around the clock, designing a prototype that would prove the doubters wrong. The stakes? Immense. If they failed, Motorola would waste millions and lose ground to AT&T. If they succeeded, well, they'd change history. Finally, in 1973, they had it. A 9-inch tall, 2.5-pound block of plastic and metal stuffed with circuits. The battery lasted barely 30 minutes of talk time and needed 10 hours to recharge. But it was enough. Certainly wouldn't have fit in my back pocket. Cooper knew the only way to make the world believe was to demonstrate it. And not just anywhere. On April 3, 1973, Martin Cooper stood on a busy sidewalk in Manhattan. In his hand was the prototype that looked more like a brick than a phone. He took a breath, dialed a number, and smiled, because the number belonged to his rival, Dr. Joel Engel, head of AT&T's Bell Labs. The first words ever spoken on a handheld cell phone weren't to a friend, a boss, or a loved one. They were to a competitor. Cooper reportedly said something like, "Joel, I'm calling you from a real handheld cell phone. A personal, portable, handheld phone." The moment was electric. Passers-by stared. The press snapped photos. A new era had begun. Not in a boardroom, not in a lab, but right there on a New York City street. Still, it wasn't instant revolution. The technology was crude. The networks had to be built. And the first commercial cell phones didn't appear until a decade later, selling for nearly $4,000 each. Kinda sounds like my first DVD player. They were heavy, clunky, and only the wealthy could afford them. But like all twists of fate, the true impact took time to unfold. Those brick-like devices shrank. Their batteries grew stronger, their circuits more efficient, and soon what was once a curiosity became a necessity. Think of it. A single sidewalk phone call made to taunt a rival sparked the chain reaction that put a cell phone in nearly every pocket on Earth. Today, billions of people carry them. Devices far more powerful than the computers that once sent astronauts to the moon. And it all started with one engineer who refused to believe communication belonged to machines in cars. He believed it belonged in human hands. The man who made that first call, the father of the cell phone, Martin Cooper. This has been Twist of Fate Radio. I'm Angela Clark. Until next time, remember, sometimes the smallest choices lead to the biggest consequences. Want to explore more stories like this? Visit twistoffateradio.com. There you can read more details about this story and others like it. Plus, you can submit your own Twist of Fate story to be considered for a future episode. You never know what twist of fate is coming next.